Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to my weight loss journey. The very slow, well, it's starting to feel like the very slow train to nowhere. I mean, honestly, it really is. I am really struggling today, let me just tell you. And it's interesting because I've lost weight this week. And last week, I gained weight, and I felt very motivated and very inspired. And today, I got on the scale, and I had lost some weight since last week. But I've worked very hard this last week, and, well, I wouldn't say I've worked very hard, but I've worked a lot harder than I've worked the last couple weeks, and it was minimal weight that I had lost, and I was like, I feel like I feel like I'm never going to achieve my goals. You know, it's interesting. So I just want to say, you know, that there's been a conversation that I've been having with several people that are YouTubers and things like that have said to me, you know, like, to do this online is like, people that do this online are not really that successful with it, right? And a couple people commented on that when I first started here. They said, because I've kind of like, I've expressed my frustration to some people that I know that, you know, their jobs are online and things like that. And so, you know, people have said, have you ever thought about like maybe like taking a month or two off and then coming back and then showing all your results and stuff like that? And I actually kind of thought about that. I thought, well, maybe I'll take like a month off and then I'll come back and I'll be like, you know, like Oprah with the reveal. It's like, take the coat off and I've lost like 60 pounds or something like that, you know? I think one of the things that has really helped me so far on this journey, I think this is week 18, maybe week 19, but I think this is week 18. I think one of the things that has helped me so far is in being really honest with myself. It's, to be honest with you, it's not even really, it doesn't really matter on my journey if, you know, who else I'm honest with, as long as I'm honest with myself. And so I really thought about that because when I first started this, I got a couple comments and people were like, people that do weight loss journeys online have proven to be unsuccessful. And that kind of has stuck in my head. And then I had some people say to me, they didn't really say it necessarily like that, but they were just like, you know, like maybe do it offline for a while. Like I haven't seen a lot of people do this online where they've been really, really successful and things like that, right? And so it kind of got into my head a little bit, in all honesty. You know, that thought was in my head and I kept on thinking to myself, well, maybe they're right. Maybe this isn't successful doing this online. But the reality is, and this is where I have to stay honest with myself, I don't know that it really matters if I'm online or if I'm offline. And in all honesty, like really, when I check myself and I really look into this, the reality is that being online and doing this has helped me for a couple reasons. Number one, I just want to say one of the reasons why I continue to share this on here, even when I'm not having, you know, great amounts of weight loss or have done really well or have walked a lot in the last week and things like that, is because the amount of people in the comment sections that are encouraging me to keep on going, the amount of people that are doing this with me. There's a lot of you out there that are like, I'm doing this with you, and I gained 4 pounds, or I lost 6 pounds, or whatever. And so I feel like it's now kind of like this group effort, which makes me feel like I'm not all alone, you know? I really kind of had this like soul-searching moment this week, and after having one of these conversations, and like I said, everybody was really, really nice that I talked to on the phone. They just were like, you know, there's only a few people that have been really, really successful, and most of them, they post their journeys after they've like lost all the weight, you know? And I thought about it, and I thought, okay, so when I look at like my weight gain and loss through the years on my FitnessPal is where I, you know, put in all my weights and things like that. I noticed that I get down to a certain point, and then I like start gaining it back, like week by week, like 2 to 3 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. And before I know it, I've gained 20 to 30 pounds back, right? And so I was thinking about that this week, and I thought, I had talked about this last week about, it was a success for me that I had even maintained the weight that I was at, right? And the reality is, for me, I know it's probably not a big deal for a lot of people, but for me, to maintain my weight at the weight that I'm at right now is a huge deal. It is like a really, really huge deal, you know? One of the reasons why my doctors have so focused on me being below 200 pounds is because progressively over the last 12 years, I have gained weight. And I have stayed between 240 pounds and 265 pounds, okay? After the accident, I really wasn't eating at all. I just was like, I was depressed, and I just really couldn't function, and so I just really wasn't eating, and that's why I lost a lot of weight after the accident. After my pancreatitis last year, my medication was changed for my epilepsy. And so I had previously been on Depakote, and they changed me to Keppra because they found out that the Depakote had been part of what possibly could have caused, or they think it's what caused me to have the pancreatitis. It was a side effect of being on Depakote. And so after I switched to Keppra, Depakote has a side effect that makes you like aggressively hungry. Keppra has the opposite effect. And so when I got on the Keppra, I really wasn't hungry that much, and so I started losing more weight. And so you know, before the accident, I think I was like 268, something like that. And then, you know, and then after the pancreatitis, I was down to, I don't even know, like 215 or something like that. And then I kept on losing some weight, right? The fact that it's been 18 weeks and I have maintained or lost some weight, for me, is like huge success. It really is. And because I am the person that by nature, like, I should have put on all this weight back again. If you look historically at who I am, and that's the honest piece, right? That's like looking at me honestly and myself honestly and being like, okay, the person that I typically am makes a million excuses and says, okay, I gained 3 pounds this week, but next week I'm gonna lose 6 pounds, and then the next week I gain 3 more pounds, okay, and then I'm like, okay, next week I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. And the reality is, I can remember like talking to my friends in my 20s, and people would talk to us about metabolism and stuff like that. And I was like, that's never gonna happen to me. My metabolism's never gonna change. It's never, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like you wake up one day and your metabolism changes, and you get older and things are harder. It's harder to lose weight. That's just a reality, right? Like, when I was in my 20s, I could, you know, run a mile every day and I could like lose 10 pounds in a week. That's just not the case anymore. And that wasn't even healthy then, right? And so, you know, I'm looking at this week, and I'm thinking about the comments, a couple comments that people were like, you know, I mean, the comments were nice. They wished me luck, but they were just like, you know, historically it doesn't look like people are very successful and they do these weight loss journeys online. And then talking to some friends that were trying to be supportive, and they were giving me different solutions, you know, like maybe like take, you know, and these were other people that do things online, like I said. And so they were like, maybe, you know, take a month or 2 off and then come back and be like a, you know, big reveal, like you've lost a lot of weight. And I like that idea. Like, I love that idea, right? Like coming back and being like, look, I've lost 40 pounds. But I know myself, and I don't think that would be the case, right? I think in doing this every week there's always, let's say, 2 or 3 comments that really, really stick with me from doing these videos. Whether I gain weight or whether I lose weight, there's always 2 or 3 comments that really, really stick with me and really help me, you know? The comment a couple weeks ago that somebody left, and I just want to say, I thank you to this person. I don't know who you are, but I just want to say thank you so much to the person that left the comment that said, even if you keep on doing this for like the next year or 2, right, and you maintain or lose, you know, a little bit each week, eventually you're gonna meet your goals. And that is really stuck in my head, right? Other people that have said, like, maintaining your weight is better than gaining weight, which is like other things. And so every time that I do these videos, I get so much encouragement. I get so much support. I think at first when I started doing this, I felt like I was letting you guys down. And then ultimately that in turn felt like I was letting myself down, which obviously I am letting myself down if I'm not meeting my goals, right? But that's how it felt originally. When I really like did some soul searching this week, what I realized was, without me having the accountability on this channel, I don't know that I wouldn't have already put on 30 or 40 pounds. That's just the truth. I was like going in that direction, you know, like already. Like, I think at one point, you know, I gained weight, like, what was this, like 6 weeks ago, and I was like 215.8 or something. I mean, since that point, that I think that was maybe January or February or something like that, I got up to like back almost to like 216. Since that point, you know, I've lost like 8 pounds and maintained it. That's a proud moment for me, right? Like the fact that, I mean, I look at pictures of myself from a couple years ago when I was like 268, and today I weighed myself and I'm 207.1, right? Like, that's 61 pounds that, yes, I wasn't dieting after the accident, after the pancreatitis. Like, it wasn't like I was actively doing the work to keep it off, but there's nothing now that's keeping me from keeping it off. And in all honesty, one of the hardest videos for me to make was getting on here and talking about how I had gained the weight back, and I was like at 215 or whatever. I can't remember when that was, right? That was a really hard video for me to make. That was almost at the point that I was like ready to check out, like, and be like, okay, I'm not filming this online anymore. This is too embarrassing. You know, but I'm also somebody that, like, in recovery, I learned to live out loud, and living out loud means just like sharing what's going on with your life. And that's always helped me, right? And whether that's with my friends or my husband or in a meeting, in a 12-step meeting, or with you guys online, you know, living out loud and sharing what's going on with me has been helpful. And I think that was a pivotal point in this whole situation, right? Because I think that had I not got online and talked about it back then, I don't even remember when that was now, but I think had I not got online and talked about it then, I think I would probably be 230 at this point, maybe 235, you know? And I would have progressively, because that's what I've done in the past, is I put on 2 to 3 pounds a week, 2 to 3 pounds a week, 2 to 3 pounds a week, right? And that's how I gain weight over long periods of time, and I get back up to where I was. And so, you know, I think, like, for me, I have to be, like, brutally honest. This level of accountability of knowing that I'm going to get on this video every single week and I'm going to share with you guys what's going on with me, it is really pivotal to my weight loss journey right now, or even my weight loss maintenance, if I want to keep it that way, right? Because in all honesty, let's just, facts are facts. 207.1 pounds is a lot healthier than 268 pounds. It just is, you know? And you know, it was funny because I was talking to, we went out to dinner with another couple that we've been friends with for a long time, and he's lost some weight too. And, you know, he was never really that heavy, but he's lost a little bit of weight, and we were talking, and his wife piped in and she said, he notices, like, when he walks around differently, that it's easier, that he's not huffing and puffing and things like that. It's easier for him to walk upstairs and whatever. And those are the things that I have noticed, right? That, like, I don't want to give back again. When I was 268 pounds, like, I was huffing and puffing around the house. It was hard to walk upstairs. I really couldn't walk outside. I mean, I could walk outside, but it was hard, right? And I don't want to give that back. I'm not willing to give that back. And so maintenance for me has to be a success. I'm struggling this week. I'm really struggling because I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I don't know if this is a God thing or what it is, but I just seem to gravitate around this 207 mark, right? Whether it's 207.1 or 4 or 8 or whatever, I'm just always around this 207 mark. At this point, success for me would look like getting below 207, right? Like, that would be really great for me. And so, you know, I'm really, really struggling with all of that. And because I just feel like I've just been like this, you know, for, you know, the last, I don't know, 6 weeks or something. And I'm like, I just don't get it. Even if I dip down into, like, let's say if I was 206.9 when I woke up today, you know, I actually waited a little bit to make this video because I was like, I'm going to go weigh myself again. And I weighed myself, and I thought, when I got on the scale, I thought, not like it's a trick or anything like that, but, you know, I thought, I'm going to get on the scale and I'm actually going to be 2.7 or 207.2. Watch, I'll have gone up, and I did, and I was exactly the same as I was when I weighed myself this morning, but I was hoping, like, maybe I'll be 206.9, you know, or something. And it's so stupid because, like, that doesn't even really, you know, like, the number is a number, but, like, it really doesn't make a difference, you know? It's interesting because, you know, we say that, like, age is just a number, but when it comes to weight, it's a completely different thing, right? For each of us. So I'm struggling. Like, I'm struggling emotionally. But I will say this, and this is what I know. I don't know about other people doing this online. I don't know what works for other people. I don't know if other people are successful sharing their journeys online. I only know what works for me. And what I can clearly say after doing some soul searching and going back and talking to some people is that, for whatever reason, whether it's loss or maintain or maintenance, this is working for me. Sharing this online is working for me. You guys giving me supportive comments or giving me suggestions, and a lot of the suggestions that you guys have given me are things that I've tried, and I really, really appreciate it. And it doesn't feel like I'm so alone in this. I also am kind of past the point. Like, I think when I first started this, I felt like, I know this is going to sound silly because most of us have never even met, but, like, there was a part of me that felt like I wanted to make you guys proud, right? Like, I wanted to lose this weight and you guys be like, championing me on. I don't really have that anymore, especially I think because so many people have shared in the comment sections. I know this is going to sound crazy, but some of the comments that have really been helpful to me are not where people are like, I mean, these are helpful to me too, where people are like, I've been on a weight loss journey for a year and a half and I've lost 100 pounds. Like, that inspires and motivates me, right? But then the comments where people are like, I've been on the weight loss journey since you have, and I haven't lost any weight at all. Like, that helps me as well, because it makes me feel like I'm not all alone. And on those days that I struggle, what I realize is this is the human condition that we're just dealing with, right? And some days are better than others. I definitely did better towards the end of the week than I did towards the beginning of the week. I did make, good choices, like when we went out to eat and things like that, and I would only eat like half my meal and stuff like that. Going out to eat does not seem as difficult to me as it did when I first started this. This is one of the things, I would say that's one of the successes that I've learned through this, is that I can go out to eat, and when I get full, I stop eating. And that was something I had kind of started before all this, but that's one of the things I'm definitely doing now. And I don't typically take the food home, like, because I'm like, I'll just eat it when I get home. If my husband wants it, I'll look at him if it's something that he would eat, and I'm like, do you want to take this home? If he wants to take it home, he can take it home, but I don't typically ever take food home anymore. The other thing that, I know I just need to get back into walking, and I've been talking about this on my vlog a little bit, that I just really haven't been walking that much, or I'll walk just kind of around the neighborhood. And I really miss listening to my audiobooks, because the less I walk, the less audiobooks I listen to. And so last night, my neighbor, she wanted to go to the pool, and the pool is good for me too. Like, when I go up there, I try to swim some laps and whatever, right? So she was like, she wanted to go to the pool, and I was like, well, I'm vlogging, and then I want to take a walk. So I was, but I was kind of like, no, like, I'll just go up to the pool with her. I won't take a walk and whatever. And during my vlog, she walked by, and I said to her, well, I still want to take a walk. And she had said to me earlier, because she walks and runs and stuff like that, and she was like, no, walks are good. You need your walk and whatever. So I kind of talked to her while I was on my vlog, and then afterwards, I like put on my walking shoes. My husband was leaving for this event that he went to, and I started walking, and I walked by her at the pool. When I was walking, I like took like one AirPod out, and I kept on walking, because when I walk, I like walk down all these different paths by the pool. There's like the path to the tennis court, and I walk down that and up it, and then by the bookshelf, and then I walk to get in as many steps as I possibly can. And so she was like, well, how long are you going to walk for? She was like, do you want me to stay up here? And I was like, yeah. I was like, but if you don't, then I'll just get you, whatever. And she was like, well, I brought my book, so I'm going to stay up here. My friend's coming. So I ended up walking last night for like 35 minutes or something like that, and which was longer than I have been walking lately. And it was great, and I really realized like how much I missed it. And I looked at my steps last night just from like walking 35 minutes, and I wasn't like out of breath. I did walk at like a good pace and whatever. But when I got done walking at late last night, I looked at my steps, and they were like 6 to 8 times more than I usually walk in a day. And I was like, well, no wonder, like, you're so sedentary that you're not losing weight. And so just doing that one thing really motivated me to get out there and walk more on a daily basis. And I just want to say, that I really appreciate people's encouragement in the comment sections below, and the hope and the inspiration that you've given me. I think doing this online, that was it's interesting, because when I did this online, when I originally started it, I thought every week I'm going to lose 5 pounds, and before you know it, it's going to be, 10 weeks, and I'm going to be down in my goal weight, and then I'm just going to be doing, like, maintenance stuff, and every video will be like, that's what I thought. Like, that was a delusion that I thought, right? And nothing ever goes the way that I think it's going to go anyway, so this is just very typical of my life, that this is how it's going to go. But in all honesty, the lessons I'm learning week to week are things that I think that I'll be able to apply long term, which I'm really grateful for, I do want to make one clarification, okay, is that I made a comment on my video last week, and I said something about, I don't even remember how I said it, in all honesty, but I got like a comment about it, and I said something to the effect of, like, when I got up really, really high in weight, that there was a point for me that, there's like this whole idea of like body acceptance and body love. It was literally like 2 minutes in my video, and so it was interesting, but I appreciate the comment that I got on it, but I just wanted to clarify what I meant for that, because I did say, I did go back and watch the part, and I did say, for me, okay? Because anything that I share, I'm not telling anybody what to do, I'm just sharing what I'm doing, okay? Or my thought pattern in all this. There was a point when I got up really, really high, okay? I'm like, when I was like 260 to 268 constant. And, I was reading all this stuff and seeing all these articles about body positivity and self-love of your body and things like that. And I really, really believe that, okay? And I think I even said in the video, whatever body I'm in for today, I need to love for today, right? But what I also realized was, and this was kind of in some therapy that I was talking to my therapist about, was that I wasn't using it as a form of self-love, okay? I wasn't looking at it as saying, and this is just for me, this is not for anybody else, because the comment that I got was something like, so because I can't lose weight and I've tried all these different ways, I shouldn't love my body. No, not at all. You should absolutely 100% love your body. You should love yourself. You always should, right? But for me, it was becoming an excuse to not do anything. For me, I'm only speaking for myself, okay? It was becoming an excuse to not lose any weight, right? Because I was reading all this stuff, and so it was like, well, maybe I should just accept myself for who I am and stop trying to lose weight and stop trying to get healthy, and maybe I should just, you know, throw in the towel and just be like all about like loving myself. I believe we should love ourselves every single day in whatever condition we wake up that day. That's how we should love ourselves, okay? Whether I'm 268 pounds or whether I'm 180 pounds, I should love myself and I should love my body for what it allows me to do that day and be grateful for that. That is how I truly feel, okay? But I have to be very, very careful that that whole idea for me, right? Like, I love the whole like body positivity and body love, self-love movement. I love all that, right? But for me, it can be a trap, because then I can be like, well, I'm just going to love all this, and then I don't need to do anything about it. When reality, it's not really about, for me, self-love. It's really about excuses that, and this is not about anybody else out there. When I made that comment, I said, if you go back and watch the video, I said, for me. I wasn't talking about anybody else. And the comment said something to the effect of like, so I shouldn't, I wasn't telling anybody what they should do. I was saying for me. It can be a trap for me, right? Because, and I have to be careful of that, because the moment that I switch over to that, it's kind of like me throwing in the towel and being like, well, I'm just gonna like love myself and blah, 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 whatever, okay? You know, I have through the years done 100 different things to try to lose weight. I know today the things that work, and I know the things that don't. I said that video 1 over here, okay? Eating less and moving more, which somebody said to me years ago and pissed me off so bad, all right? I was so bad. I was like, this skinny-ass person over here telling me, have you ever thought about eating less and moving more? But she was 100% right, you know? Moving more and eating less, eating the right kinds of foods, getting, you know, good rest and things like that, which I'm still not great at. Like, you know, all of those things are things that work, right? I've tried a million ways to try to trick the system, and they don't work, you know? Starting to talk to my doctor and work with my doctor and things like that. You know, a lot of people have suggested in the comment sections about me finding a nutritionist. So in all transparency, since I said I live out loud over here, let me tell you my resistance, because my husband has a very good friend that's a nutritionist, and he has suggested for the last 2 years that I get together with her and I meet with her. My resistance to meeting with a nutritionist is this, okay? Is that I don't know that I want somebody telling me what and how much to eat, okay? My food issues and my eating addiction and my food addiction is a lot about control, just like my drug and alcoholism is. So my gut feeling inside feels like if I go to a nutritionist, then they're telling me what I can eat and all that kind of stuff. And it scares me, if you want to know the truth. It scares me that somebody's going to say, you can't have this anymore, you can't have this anymore, right? The reality is that so many people in my life have recommended it to me. So many of you have recommended it to me. So I am going to set up an appointment in July, and I'm going to set up an appointment this week for July, and I'm going to meet with a nutritionist. I'm not going to meet with her. I'm going to meet with somebody that she recommends if she can get me in. If she can't, then I'm going to meet with her to meet with a nutritionist and find out what I'm going to do. I also have a friend of mine that's a personal trainer who is going to set up a plan with me as far as a workout and as far as like what I can do from home. People have said like to go to the gym and whatever. I have to Uber everywhere, and so for me, I would rather work out and do things I can do from home. I have an entire free weight set downstairs. I have a pool all summer long. I can walk. I can run outside. There's a lot of things that I can do from home that I don't have to go to a gym for. So I'm going to meet with a personal trainer that's going to put a whole system together for me, and that is my plan to start that in July. And so that's my goal going forward. You know, I have to mix things up. I have to take suggestions that people give to me, right? I put this nutritionist thing off long enough because in all honesty, like I said, I just don't want somebody telling me what I can and can't eat. But maybe in all reality, that's exactly what I need, is somebody to tell me what I can and can't eat. Maybe I need somebody to say, no, you can't have this anymore because this isn't healthy for you. You know what I mean? Instead of me making a million excuses in my head why it is healthy for me. You know, I know a lot of people that work out and they don't ever seem to achieve their goals. And I can remember the last time I was going to a personal trainer, what he said to me was they don't meet their goals because they're not doing the right kind of workout for their right body type. So I want to meet with somebody that's going to tell me this is how long you need to walk, or this is the pace you need to walk, or running might not be good for you, or maybe buy, you know, like a step machine for your house, or do these exercises, or do yoga, or do this, or whatever. I want somebody to tell me what's good for me. And that's all in coordination with my doctor, obviously. So I do have plans going forward because I feel very stuck. And for me, I have to say, okay, what's the next thing? And instead of throwing in the towel, I have to go to all the other suggestions that I haven't tried. And so far, that's coming up with a set regimen with a, you know, a physical trainer or a personal trainer, and also going to a nutritionist, dietitian, and having them tell me, like, what are the appropriate things I should be eating. And so that's my goal for July. So anyway, I just want to share that with you guys. I weighed in today. Like I said, I was 207.1. Last week, I was 207.8. So I've lost 0.7 pounds. Water weight gain, water weight loss, I don't know at this point. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.